In the previous video, we discussed creating a Jira service desk project. Let us now discuss configuring Jira service desk, portal, request type, SLA, automation rules, and notifications. In this video, we are going to take a look at managing your customer list, creating new request types that will be displayed on the portal. We'll take a look at how we can manage the service level agreements. We will also customize the portal, and we will create an automation rule. Finally, we'll take a look at some notifications. So right now I'm logged into my Jira instance, and let me go back to the same help desk team service desk project. When you are inside the Jira service desk project, click on the project settings in the sidebar, and you now have the option to take a look at the various Jira service desk customizations that you can do in your project. The first option under the project settings is the request type, and under this request type section you can actually create different request types that will be displayed on the portal. So in your Jira service desk project, when you use a template, you already have a lot of request types and also the groups that will be created for you. But if you want to have a new request type, you can actually create it from here. For example, if you want to create a new request type called something is broken, you can actually type in the name, and each and every request type on the portal need to be mapped to a specific issue type. So let us say you want to map your something is broken to an incident. So just select the incident from the issue type and give it a nice description. Use this request type to raise an incident, and finally click on the create request type. So it takes just few minutes, and when you are creating a new request type, if you also want to add new fields and manage it, you can simply click on the edit fields option, and you will now have the option to add various fields. So on the top right corner, you have the button to add a new field. If you click on it, you have the option to select various fields. Let us say you want the description and maybe the attachment field as part of the request type something is broken. So add them in the request type, and then we are able to use them in the project. So whenever your customers are raising a new request type for something is broken, they will be asked to fill summary, attachment, and description. And by the way, these two fields are not really required, so only summary is the required field. And the second option that we have is the customer permission. So you can see here that right now the customers who are added to the project can raise request in the Jira service desk project. But if you want to open your Jira service desk to almost everyone, so you can just select the second option, customers who have an account on this Jira site. So any customer who will be added as a user in Jira, they can now raise a ticket. And also you have the option to enable the customer sharing request. So if your customers are raising a request and they also want to share the ticket within their organization, so you can also select the option here called other customers in their organization, or any customer by typing an email address, or any customer or organization by searching in this project. So you can actually select the third option if you think that you need to enable this feature of sharing the ticket. And the next option is the portal settings. You can see here that you can also change the look and feel of the portal. So if you click on the link view and customize the look and feel of your help center, you can simply click on it, and you can modify your help center. So help center is basically the list of all the portals that you have. So you can have multiple Jira service desk portals and they're all listed under the help center. But if you want to modify the name and logo, or maybe the banner on top for a specific portal, so you can simply change the name here, help desk team for ABC company. And you can also have this introduction text on top. You also have the option to use your own customer logo for this particular portal. And finally, you also have the option to add a new announcement banner. And this announcement banner can be added by either the agent of your project, or only Jira administrator or project administrators can add the banner. So you have some configurations here to modify. The next option is the email request. So right now, if you want to also enable the emails in the Jira service desk, that means that people who can raise a ticket by simply sending you an email. So that need to be configured here. So let us say you want to enable this feature. So simply click on add an email address. So you need to first type in the email address and the password for your email and click on the next button. So you need to authenticate your email and finally select the request type that will be mapped to the email. Click on the done button. So whenever people will send an email to this particular email address, an incident will be raised in your Jira Service Desk project. The next option that we have is the customer notification. In the customer notification, the most important part here is to understand various different events that will be triggered and it will actually send an email with the content. So let us say the new request is created in your Jira Service Desk project. If you click on the edit link on the right hand side under action, you will be able to see and modify the body of your email. So right now it says that the content will be this, just confirming that we got your request and we are on it. So this is fine. And you can also preview the content of this email. But if you also want to include some variables, for example, if you also want to include, let us say, the issue key or issue reporter. So let us say you want to also make it more personal. So hi issue reporter, and maybe you can also just enter a new line. So what will happen now, the email that will be sent to the customer will have this nice format and it will also look very personal. So you have the option to also enable the notifications with your own custom content with variables. Then let us take a look at the SLAs or service level agreements. So right now in Jira, we already have in this project various SLAs configured. So we have something called as time to resolution, time to first response, and you also have the option to create your own new SLA. But let us take a look at time to resolution. It says right now that for all the incidents, the SLA goal is 4 hours. For all the service requests and service requests with approvals, the SLA goal is 8 hours. But if you also want to introduce or modify this SLA, let us say if there is an incident and the priority is high, so you want this SLA to be 1 hour. So what you can do, you can also type in your own custom JQL. Let us say issue type is equal to incident and priority is high. So whenever the priority is high for all the incidents, you want the goal to be 1 hour. And we also have the concept of calendars. Let us say you have a team who is working 9 to 5, your agent team, and you want this SLA to be applicable only between 9 to 5, not really after 5 o'clock. So simply add new SLA, and this SLA will be also applicable for the incident, for the high priority incidents, not really for service request, but you have the option to modify and add different conditions or different JQL queries to make this SLA more relevant. And finally, let us take a look at the automation. So we have some automation rules that are configured in the tool for you. So let us say if you go to the automation section here, you will be able to modify and create new automation rules. So right now you can see here that we have some automation rules like transition on command, update when a linked issue changes, auto close and auto approve. Let us understand how we can add a new rule and what exactly is a rule. So automation rules will actually make your life easier. For example, if I click on the add rule button on top, you have the option to take a look at various standard rules. For example, if you want to get notified whenever the SLAs are about to be breached, you can select the rule called keep on top of SLA, and you will have the option to now modify and give this particular rule a name. Let us say SLA alert is the name of my rule, and you can take a look here that the condition or the trigger will be that whenever your SLA is about to be breached and only 30 minutes are remaining, you will be able to trigger or alert a user. So it says that it will actually look for the conditions like when, and if you also want to add some more parameters, like maybe you want this rule to be applicable for incident, you can also add something like issue type is equal to incident, and you want to trigger the user. So this will actually send you a notification whenever the SLAs are about to be breached. And you have the option to also create a new rule from scratch. For example, if you click on the custom rule and if you click on the next button, you have the option here to actually specify the trigger. And if you click on add a trigger, you will have a lot of options to choose from, like for example, whenever the issue is created, or whenever the status of the issue is changed, or maybe whenever the SLA time is remaining. So you can actually use different triggers and define your own rule. And these rules will actually make your life really easier. Let us now take a look at the customer portal, and we want to check whether the new request type that we added is working fine or not. So if I click on raise a request, I can see here that the first option under the common request is called something is broken. If I click on it, I can now raise a new request. Let us say my server is down. If I want, I can also attach a file. If I want, I can also enter a description. This is very urgent. Click on the create button, and we now have a new request. If I just close the window, and if I now go back to my queues, I can see here that there is a new ticket that says my request is down. But if I want, I can also add a new queue for my something is broken request type. If I click on new queue button here, I will be able to add a new queue. So I'll give it a name, something is broken, and I need to use a GQL to search for all the something is broken request. So I'll type in customer request type is equal to something is broken, and I can click on the create button to create a new queue. So you can see here that we have a new queue called something is broken, and that is how you will customize your Jira service desk project. In the next video, we'll take a look at Jira service desk reports.